Slaves no more. Not everyone believed the announcement. More than 200 years had passed since Africans were first captured and brought to North America. By 1865, most slaves in North America had been born here. The only life they knew was slavery. Then, in an instant, they were free. Once slaves knew the truth, they stopped working. The moment was scary and wonderful. Have you guys ever had a moment like that? Where it was scary and wonderful all at the same time? They were free. They laughed and cried, shouted and prayed. They danced and sang, gathered and hugged. They imagined their lives as free Americans. Some former slaves left the plantations with just clothes on their back. They didn't know where they were going. They were happy just to be free, to go anywhere. Many searched for loved ones who had been sold to other plantations. Some were reunited with their families. Others never found their parents or their children. Some former slaves found jobs in cities. Others could not because white people wouldn't hire them. Many stayed on plantations because there had nowhere else to go. The slaves were free, but black Americans would struggle for equal rights for a long time. Still, the end of slavery brought great joy and reason to celebrate. June 10th. On June 19th, 1866, 1 year after they had learned of their freedom, former slaves came together to celebrate. The city of Galveston was alive with music. The sweet, smoky smell of barbecue filled the air. Black Texans were wearing their Sunday best. They gathered and hugged. They shared news and told stories. They sang spiritual celebrating freedom. No more slavery chains for me. No more, no more. Folks attended ceremonies, worship services, and parades to mark the day. This was the first of many June 19th celebrations in Texas. And when black Texans moved to other states, they took the tradition with them. But how did June 19th become June 10th? At first, Texans called it Freedom Day, Emancipation Day, Jubilee, or simply June 19th. As years passed, the freedom stories were told and retold. June 19th blurred together into June 10th. Today, June 10th, is celebrated much like the first anniversary in 1866. People of all colors arrive at parks, churches, schools, and backyards for picnics. The sweet, smoky smell of barbecue fills the air. Potato salad, corn on the cob, biscuits, homemade ice cream, cakes, pies, and melons crowd the table. Red velvet cake and red soda pop are traditional treats. Red honors all the people whose blood was shed in slavery and in the struggle for freedom. Festive parades fill city trees with music and dancing. Black cowboys and cowgirls clop through town on horses. Miss June 10th waves from a decorated float. Folks stroll along singing songs of freedom and patriotism. Spirited baseball games bring whoops and hollers from excited fans. Foot races, sack races, and rodeos spark cheers and laughter. At the cakewalk, people clap their hands and tap their feet. Dancers turn and leap, strut, and quick step to win the grand prize, a delicious cake. Worship services and reading the Emancipation Proclamation are important parts of Juneteenth. Speakers tell and retell stories of slavery and freedom. They share tales of why Texas slaves were last to get the news. One legend says that the first messenger sent with the proclamation was murdered along the way. Another story says he was given a very, very slow mule to ride. People laugh, but no one forgets the real reason for the late news. No one forgets Juneteenth is not just a day to have fun. It's a time to remember. Juneteenth is celebrated with big and small ways. Almost everywhere in the United States, the government of Texas made it a state holiday on June 1st, 1980. From Florida to Alaska, California to New Jersey, other states across the nation have followed this example. Some people believe that June 19th should be a national holiday like Thanksgiving or the 4th of July. Wherever it's celebrated, Juneteenth is a time to sing praises for the end of slavery in the United States. Freedom Days. Americans have different ideas about when to celebrate the end of slavery. Some think it should have been January 1st, the day the president signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. Others feel December 18th, 1865 was a true day. On that day, the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution became law. The amendment ended slavery in all the states. The Emancipation Proclamation freed slaves only in the Confederate States. And there are people who honor the day when slaves were free in their own state. Whatever date you choose, freedom is worth celebrating. And here are the words to the freedom song. No more auction block. No more auction block for me. No more, no more. No more auction block for me. Many thousands gone. No more slavery chains for me. No more, no more. No more slavery chains for me. Many thousand gone. No more captain's whip for me. No more, no more. No more captain's whip for me. Many thousands gone. No more auction block. No more auction block. No more auction block. Many thousands gone. The end.